Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today is a special day only because I'm in my kitchen. I'm in my kitchen working today. I'm doing some work from home and I thought I would make a video today. Now this video is special, as I said, because it was requested by my twin, 1 year apart and from a different mother. So it was requested by one of my childhood friends, and we were talking about, she sent me a video about the author Chimamanda Adiche. And sorry for butchering these Nigerian names. I'm so sorry for all my Nigerian friends. So basically, we were talking about her, and I was saying to her that my favorite book that she's written is Americanah. And, you know, my friend was saying she's never written it. And she's like, do a review for me then, Camille. Now, I did tell her that I think I don't have the book, and I really didn't have the book. I looked everywhere for this book, couldn't find it. But in my mind's eye, I'm seeing this book in Jamaica sitting on my bedside table. So I think I read it there and I left it there. But what I have is the very first book that she's written, and I'll show you that book. And I've read half of it, but I haven't completed it, and it's a really good read. So I'm going to recommend Miss Adiche because I prefer her middle name, Ngozi. I love that name, Ngozi. So I am going to really recommend this. So Americanah, which is the book that we're really talking about, was published in 2013 in the UK. I'm not sure if it was published anywhere else. And to be honest with you, I'm going to be really brutally honest, and please don't judge me. Please don't judge me. It was suggested to me by a work colleague, and I would say probably in about 2014. A work colleague suggested this book to me, the Americanah, not the one that I've got. And I was like, nah, I don't know. I've never really read an African author. I don't think so. So I didn't read the book. Then she actually gave me the book for my birthday that year. And I still didn't read the book. So I took it on holiday with me, because you know, you're on the beach, having a drink, and you read a book. And it was so gripping, I couldn't put this book down. So it was a really good read. And to think I was judging like, oh, I've never read an African author, it might not be good. Little did I know, it was absolutely wonderful. So yes, Americanah was published in 2013, and I think it was her third novel. If I'm not wrong, I think Half of a Yellow Sun, which is the one I have to show you today, is her first. Purple Hibiscus is her very first novel. So her first novel is Purple Hibiscus. Half of a Yellow Sun was her second novel. So Purple Hibiscus was longlisted, not shortlisted, but longlisted for the Booker Prize. And Half of a Yellow Sun was her second novel, and that one won the Orange Prize. And you know, that's quite a prestigious prize in writing and literacy, so to speak. So the third book, Americanah, that one was published in 2013, and I love that book. It's political, but not too political. It mentioned Barack Obama in a few instances, and a lot of political things in Nigeria, but it's political enough not to be political, if that makes sense, you know. So it wasn't out and out political, but there's a few political things that were mentioned. And I suppose you can't talk about Nigeria or talk about the West without talking a little bit of politics, I suppose. And she did that quite well, because it's a love story, by the way. It's a love story, and it didn't overshadow the love story. So all the political things didn't overshadow the love story. So just to follow up on things that she's done as well, she's highly acclaimed because in 2019 she wrote a collection of short stories, and it was called A Thing Around Your Neck. And all the reviews I've read have agreed that this short book of short stories cemented her position as one of the most promising writers for the African generation. And she was given the MacArthur Grant in 2010, and she was featured in the New Yorker. And if you know, the New Yorker is very good at telling you what books to read. And she was featured there. She was given a grant in 2010, and she was listed within the 20 best authors under age 40. And can you imagine how many authors there are in the world? For you to be listed in the top 20 is just absolutely phenomenal. Okay, let's get into the summary of the book. As I say, I love this book, so let's get into the summary. To start off, it's a love story, and it's a love story about childhood sweetheart. And when I say childhood, I mean teenage years, college years, not primary. So childhood sweethearts in Nigeria. So the guy is called Obinez. I'm going to call him Obi because, of course, I'm butchering his name, I'm so sure. And the girl is Efimilu, and I'm going to call her Ife because that means I won't butcher her name too. So they were both teenagers. The story took them in different parts, where Ife, the female, won an award to go to Philadelphia to study, and Obi was left in Nigeria, but at some point he also left Nigeria and went to London. So he went to the United Kingdom and she went to the United States. It just tells you about how and I see this a lot in people who are coming from the African continent, how they romanticize the West and romanticize everything to do with the West. And they'll tell you how the West is always better than where they're from, wherever they're from. Most people I've met from African countries will tell you, they have a romanticized idea of Western countries. So this book is about young lovers and just how they were separated and how they were brought back together because they went in search of a better life. She went for education and a better life, and he went for a better life, definitely. The book is also a discussion of race, and so Adiche discussed race in a way that I understand, but not 100% understand. So I feel like she discussed race in her book from an African idea. And being somebody from the Caribbean, my idea of race is a little bit different from the African idea of race. But she discussed race in terms of how she views race based on where she's from. And she talked about identity issues. She talked about a lot of things that people who come to the UK or America or Canada or the Western countries, how they talk about loneliness and how hard it is to get settled and how hard it is to really build a better life in these Western countries. So it might look easy, but it's quite hard. And the people back home in Nigeria romanticize, I'm talking about the novel, by the way, romanticize the idea of these Western countries, not giving thought to how difficult it is to actually build a life in these countries. So much of the novel is written by flashbacks. So she's looking back on ideas and things and concepts and things that's happened to her. One of the key things I enjoyed, I understood, but I think could have been written, maybe, as I say, I'm from the Caribbean, so my idea of certain things are a little bit different. And it's when she went to New Jersey to get her hair braided, and, I'm not going to put any spoilers in, but just what happened in that dynamic and that scene of the book, very, very pivotal, very important, but I feel she didn't capture it 100%. And I feel she couldn't have captured it 100% because of her background and being from Africa. It's a little bit different for her. And they talk about the Obama election and the victory. And, she spoke about that in depth in her book. Not in depth, but enough for you to understand what's going on. And it discussed what happened to her in the 15 years that she spent in the United States. To me, the most important aspect of this book is, let's say the key ideas and concepts that I understand from my Caribbean brain and my Caribbean experiences, the key concepts I think I'm going to bring out So Obi, and he's in London, and he's struggling to get work because he doesn't have any documentation. He doesn't have an NI number, which is what you need to work in London, or in the UK, you need a national insurance number to work. So he didn't have any of these things, and he was struggling. But he ran across a old school friend, because remember, they are middle class in Nigeria, and then they've come to the West and they are at the bottom while they were kind of the top in Nigeria, right? So they're starting from the bottom. He ran into one of his old school friends who is married to a person. I'm talking about this scene because it's based in Islington in London, where I live, and I understand what was said. I really understand what was said. So he met up with this friend. He ran across him. He invited him to lunch. And the wife is a white lady, Caucasian, and she was there with all her friends. And Obi felt a little bit put out because they had all these collections of things from the colonies. So she had plates from India and all this sort of stuff, made him feel uncomfortable. And he felt that his friend was a bit of a sellout because he's enjoying the spoils of the labor of people from the Commonwealth in a middle class way. But I don't want to give away too much because I don't want any spoilers. I really want you to read this book. If you have not read this book, you have to read this book. It's the way they say the food was served in ethnic plates, brought back from India, and he's like, my friend has changed. This guy has changed, because when we were in Nigeria, this guy would frown upon these things. And this is where the political things come in. And this is where the politics of Nigeria and the way they see the West comes in. And, Obi just couldn't believe that its childhood friend has sold out completely. He's come to a foreign country and he's just changed who he is completely. So what I love is the way Adiche pens these conversations. The conversations were conversations that you could see yourself having. They were intrinsic conversation, though polite. It brought up how the British middle class like to be politically correct. So it brought that up. All the political correctness that is in the British middle class, you can see it from our government and the way they behave and stuff like that, and how they skate over the idea of race and ethnicity and the need for forgiveness for, what they've done. And, she wrote that very, very, very well. And also, I like the fact that it was politically correct, but not ostentatious and in your face politically correct, if that makes sense. So I think an occurring theme in the blogs, so she was writing a series of blog. I don't want to give away spoilers. She was writing a series of blog. And one thing I can say about the blog is I like the fact that in this blog she spoke about Black women's hair. Ta-da! Ta-da! She spoke about Black women's hair. And because this is a pivotal part of race relations, I find that Black women's hair is always at the forefront of race relations. And so whether it is that a white or Caucasian woman is wearing braids to work and you feel you cannot do the same, all these different things. And she'd speak about this quite openly and frankly. And this is done in her vlogs. And you'll have to read it if you want to find out more. So in conclusion, let's summarize everything. I really enjoyed this book. I felt some of the things in my core because, of course, the hair thing I feel. Not the Obama thing so much because I'm not into that sort of politics. But the hair thing I really felt. I felt with Obi when he was struggling to find his feet and he couldn't work, and then he met his friend and it all just falls apart. I struggled with that. I felt bad for them. The book is written. The lyrics of the book, there was lots of knowledge in the subject matter. You can see that she did her research. If she didn't do anything, she did her research. And as I say, don't judge me. It's the first book I've read from a African author, and I am pleased it was the first book I read from an African author because I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was insightful. It just talked about so much subject matter like sex, race, class, the symmetric of my hair, which I enjoyed that part. And then, it is also the age-old story of young love who are separated and then brought back together, and then they can see the changes in each other when they're brought back together. It's the age-old story of love, really, but love in a modern time, love in an immigrant kind of love, if that makes sense. And let's see, is there any book similar? To be honest, I've never read a book that's similar. I'm sure there are books that are similar, but I've never read them. In terms of ratings, I would give it 9.5 out of 10. And I'll give it 9.5 out of 10 because I feel like she captures the heart of those uncertain migratory lives. She captured what it's like to be an immigrant in a country, but it was, like there was layers of laughter and fun and anecdotes and, lots of secondary characters that make the book quite interesting. There was lovers, there was going back to Nigeria. What I like about her commentary in the book is that it was sharp. So sharp social commentary, emotional, honest. It underpinned a narrative that we lay bare our souls to joy, to sorrow, to love, but at the end of it, we triumph. And that's so important. And that's what I think that book meant for me, that it talks about the human soul and what it's like when you are ripped from the life that you know and taken to a total different life, and you're seeing people who don't understand who you are, who don't share the same culture. It's very, very difficult. And so I love the book because it gives a multiple of experiences, but migrant experiences. So that's my take on Americanah. Oh, by the way, this is her second book that she won the Orange Prize for. So that's it, Half of a Yellow Sun. I haven't finished reading this yet. I must complete it and review it. So thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And also, there is a few people who've asked me why they're not getting the notification when I post my videos. If you, beside the subscribe button is a little bell. If you click on that bell, that's a notification button, and it will give you 3 options, and just click always. So you always want to get notifications from me. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this read. I certainly recommend this book. I really do recommend this book. So hopefully you enjoy it as well. And, talk to me in the comment sections. If you've read the book, tell me what you think about it. If you haven't read the book, tell me what you like about the review. So please talk to me in the comment section, and I'll be down in the comment section having a look to see what you're saying. So thank you so much for watching again. Like, share, and subscribe.